My agency, Done For You Meetings, has made well over $1 million sending cold emails for B2B companies. And today I'm going to break down how I did it and how you can use cold email to make millions of dollars sending emails for B2B companies the same way I did. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first off, just for the proofs, because a lot of people are full of BS online, you can see some of our payments here. Obviously, this will be blurred out because I don't want you stealing my customers. But you get the idea. We've been doing this for a long time. All right, onto the Lucid whiteboard. We'll be breaking everything down into 10 steps. Now, will this be a perfect guide? No, but these are the 10 core steps, and it's going to help you a lot if you're either starting your agency doing cold email or it's something you're considering doing. Now, step 1 is meet your niche, choosing who you're actually going after. Step 2 is meet your offer. Step 3 is going to be getting your first client, getting that client results, compounding social proof, systematizing your outbound, signing more clients, hiring for recurring tasks, systematizing your fulfillment, and then hiring A-player operators, with the end goal being making millions with cold email by sending cold emails for cold B2B companies. You got to add that line in. All right, let's get into it with step number 1, your niche. Step number 1, niche. So the first rule of a niche is your clients need to make money to stick with you. This means their clients need to be worth a good amount of money, and also they need to actually know how to take leads you give them and turn them into clients. If they don't make money, they will not stick with you. This isn't specific to cold email, this is just business 101, but a lot of people overlook this. So your clients need to make money to stick with you. Now, you should also only work with companies that have clients that are worth thousands. Like, I try not to go under 5K, but ideally $10,000 plus. Because if a company you're working with and their clients are worth $500, you need to get them so many leads and so many meetings and so many deals every month that it's just not going to be sustainable. Where if you're working with somebody who charges $6,000 a month or $20,000 projects, you only need to give them a few leads every month, maybe a deal a quarter for them to be wildly profitable and happy working with you. So the more your customers charge when sending cold emails for companies as a service, the better. Another thing is don't work with beginners. Yes, cold email will work if you're a beginner. However, if you're offering this to other companies in a service, your life's gonna be way easier if you have case studies, social proof, and expertise, because there's no reason to work for the same price for beginners compared to experienced agencies when it's gonna be a lot more work. Now, I would recommend starting with 1 to 2 B2B company types to start with. Eventually you can expand because you don't want to have your customers compete with each other, because generally B2B companies online aren't limited to geography. So eventually you will have probably 10 different types of B2B companies, but start with 1 or 2, like example, like accountants and consultants, or marketing agencies and manufacturing. Now, don't think just, oh, the only B2B company is a marketing agency. No, there's a million types of B2B companies. Google it, be creative, you can think of some. Now, if you do want some insight, I like to use clutch.co to look at unique categories and understand pricing. Let's look. So Clutch is a B2B directory. If you worked for a company with 1,000 employees and your boss said, hey, go hire a SEO company, you might come to Clutch kind of like we would go to Yelp or Google to look something up. Now, let's go down here to categories. So down at the bottom, we can see browse all directories. Click on that and you get a bunch of categories. So we have business services, IT, design, development, advertising. This is not every possible B2B company type, it's just some. So let's choose one. Let's say, for example, we want to look at cybersecurity. Within cybersecurity, we can see there's 7,000 firms that have listed themselves on Clutch. Now, if there's more than 7,000, that's how many have listed themselves on Clutch. We can then use Clutch to filter by country or by state. We can also filter by things such as the agency size. Maybe when you're starting out, you want to go after like 2 to 9 and 10 to 49. So now we have 3,000 firms. Now, this can give us some cool information we can use for market research. We can see their minimum project size, which that tells us like the minimum amount of money that they'll even work for is $1,000. Or this one, for example, is 5,000. This one's 1,000. You know, some of these will go up to like 25,000 for a minimum project. So look through. Like for example here, minimum project size $10,000. That looks really good. So let's open our profile We can actually read the reviews, read how much people paid. Like this person, IT and cyber for an aerospace component firm, 50 to 200K. That's insane. Like, this is a great client. So we can go read the reviews and essentially use Clutch to understand a service and use this for market research. And to end, our goal here is to have 1 to 2 B2B company types selected that we're going to use for our initial outreach. Step 2 here is going to be your offer and pricing. Now, there's going to be 3 core pricing structures that most people start when selling cold email. The first one's going to be pay per lead. This is where you manage campaigns for somebody. Whenever somebody responds back and asks for a meeting or more information or shows interest, they're classified as a lead and you bill per lead. Second is pay per call. That's where you take that lead, schedule them as a meeting on your client's calendar, and then bill them for that call. It's also performance results basis. The third is retainer. They pay you a flat monthly fee. You perform a set amount of deliverables, normally based around campaign volume. Now, which do I offer? I do option 4. That's where I help companies set up their own internal cold email structures. That way they can have their team run it at a lower ongoing cost. If you want more information on this, I have a full video breaking it down on my channel, how I grew my agency to 80K a month, where I break down my offer and pricing. But for the sake of this video, giving a shorter explanation, this is like 15 minutes, pay per lead is probably the best option most people to start with, where they pay you a small setup fee. You pay for everything else, the tech list, scripts, you just do everything except the actual appointment setting and sales call, and they pay you per lead. This is going to be easier to get your foot in the door and get people to trust you initially. So I would go with pay per lead. But if you are serious about this, find this video on my channel. You can search it under my channel, and I'll also have it linked in the description, and watch that video. Step 3 is going to be getting your first client. Now, I'm going to be fully honest with you. Getting your first client sucks. It's hard. But think about it. If you were going to hire somebody for almost anything, would you go with the person with no reviews or case studies? Probably not. Like, who goes on Google, looks up a restaurant, and then chooses the ones with no reviews? Like, it's pretty rare. So it's hard. And this is where most people fail. Now, if you need me to tell you that you can do it and you need all this encouragement and pat in the back, you know, it's going to be tough, right? The people who push through it and realize that, hey, this might take 3 months, but I'm gonna make it happen, those are the ones who win. Now, enough mindset stuff. In my opinion, there's 3 best ways to get your first client. One is in-person marketing. Door knocking, physical mail, drop-ins, networking events. If you have a great personality, you can use your personality to make up for your lack of social proof. Number 2 is personal, either very segmented or personalized cold email campaigns. So you're making up for your lack of social proof with personalization. Think of it as like a scale. We have social proof and personalization. This is what it looks like to be a beginner, expert agency, right? So we're making up for our lack of social proof with personalization. And then third is Upwork. I also have entire videos on Upwork. Upwork is so good. Now, again, to make this video not 50 minutes long, I have 2 videos I'll link. One is I made a whole video on 5 ways to get your first client. And I was way too close to my face. And second, I made a video on how to get clients in saturated niches, which may also be useful. This one is really in depth, and funny enough, I think this is the best video I've ever recorded and didn't get many reviews. So if you're watching this, help me change that. So that is going to be step 3, getting your first client. Naturally, in order to go ahead and get a case study and to start compounding social proof and to keep clients and have MRR, we need to get that client results. Now this breaks down into a few categories. So when we're looking at service delivery of cold email, we have the tech, which is essentially everything related to making sure they land in a primary inbox. This is domains, emails, warm-up, sending, and I do have guides in this my YouTube channel. Building their actual lists, coming up with strategy, so how we're going to segment their audiences, call to actions, copy, writing the scripts, and appointment setting. So you want to make sure when you're starting out that you're not just blindly outsourcing all of your fulfillment. This is something that I see all the time, where people think that this agency is just immediately a passive income game and they hire a contractor, they don't vet them. No, you want to start by actually doing this yourself for the first 3 to 5 people. That way you can build a legitimate team. When your team has questions, they come to you. Now the final thing here is just general decency and professionalism. I see a lot of people where they go wrong is just not treating people right. Like, and this is especially true of young guys that have never worked in their life. Like, general decency and professionalism is going to go a long way if working with people. So I don't know how to teach you that, but look into it. And 2 videos on my channel. if it would be helpful with this, I have a full guide on cold email CTAs. It's really good, and a cold email template video. So 2 videos if you want to go even more in depth on getting client results. Now for step 5, I'm actually going to hop over here to my website. Now step 5 is compounding social proof. So every time you work with a client, you want to gather social proof. Now this can be a video review, like you can see I have a bunch of them here. This could be a Trustpilot review or Clutch review or Upwork review. Like if I go into my Upwork, Trustpilot, Clutch, you'll see I have tons of reviews on Upwork. I have a couple reviews here on Clutch. I have like 24 on Trustpilot. So you want to make sure that you're actually collecting this and compounding. I have a client interview here. I also have a ton of case studies. I don't publish them on my website because I don't want random people to knock them off. But like when I send a proposal to a company, I have dozens of case studies I share as well. So you need to actually be compounding your social proof. Doing a good job is not enough. You need to grab testimonials, you need to set up Trustpilot, Clutch, you need to get case studies. You need to make sure you have all this, because think, if you're gonna hire somebody to help with cold email, are you gonna trust the person with no social proof? Or are you gonna see this page, see faces you know, and trust me more? And in fact, that's one of the reasons I've done so well, because I want you to hire me. Like, that's not a secret. My goal is to have you watch this video, trust me, and hire me, either if you're a big company to manage your cold email campaigns and set them up, or if you're a smaller company, to hire me to coach on your campaigns. And the way I do that is with content and social proof, and you should do the same exact thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the 6th step here is to systematize your outbound. What do I mean by that? Initially, it's just you doing your outbound. And what you want to do is think about how you can either hire someone to make sure it never stops, or set in better notifications, automations, systems, processes, reminders, essentially making sure your outbound never stops. A common problem I see is where people are getting a bunch of meetings and a bunch of clients and they stop doing outbound. And then 30, 40 days later, when they're caught up on client work, it's like, hey, we have no sales meetings. And it's because you stopped your outbound. So it's really important that as you're getting those first few clients and getting traction, you need to keep your outbound going. And this transitions directly into step 7, sign more clients. When you have systematized outbound, you'll be having more and more clients come through. And then guess what? Step 8, we're gonna hire for recurring tasks. So we have systematized outbound, we have clients coming through, we're compounding our social proof, and now we're gonna hire for recurring tasks. We're gonna go over to Upwork.com, hire for domain and email setup, warm up, list building, all these recurring low-level tasks. And then when you have these people, that's where you do the fun stuff. Step 9, you're systematizing your fulfillment, SOPs, end-day reports, automations. You now have a legit business. And the final step is hiring A-player operators. So you have hired for the recurring tasks. Next is to hire A-player operators. These are your director of fulfillments, client communication managers, salespeople, your real operators. And when you've gotten to that point, that's when you can make millions. You're compounding social proof, your outbound never stops, you're signing clients, the simple tasks are taken care of, and when that breaks, you have A players to help on it, and you can work as a business owner to do things like content, like I'm doing right here. And that is the 10 steps. Now, I know this is high level, and I've read some videos that are much more in depth, but really, that's it. And the reason I focus on the first 4 is that's where most people are. Now, this stuff, I've made content on it. It's in my course, in my program, right? Because most people just need to get their first client. Now, if you want to see like exactly how we do all of our fulfillment, hire people on board, that's more advanced. And that's in my course and program, and also my agency help people with that, which again, there's always links below if you want to learn more. But you just need to focus on these first 4 to start. Niche, offer, first client, results. If you focus on that and you're not lazy about outsourcing or cheap about like not paying for tech, you're going to do well. Now, I hope this video helped. I wanted to just kind of outline like what are those steps. That way, if you're looking to do this, you can see for yourself. And if you have any questions, obviously drop them in the comments. Or if you want to work one-on-one with me, there'll be a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.